Okay, y'all, welcome back. So, I think we're going to start out with the basics of expectation versus reality. So, I always say to buy something cheap you want to practice with. So, I've gotten some pretty cheap dyed feathers, right? I have some nicer ones I work with, and I'm going to order in some even nicer ones now that I have semi mastered my craft here. So, expectations versus reality. Um, Not all the feathers in here are going to be good. There are a couple things you can do, like that one straightened out pretty well already. They're feathers. They're going to be flawed. Some of them are going to be broken. Some of them we may set aside. We're going to do there's a way to curl them. I haven't practiced it yet, so we'll save that for round two. Um, but anyways, a good thing to do is just practice with practice your clamps. We'll get into that in a sec with your broken ones. Um, Practice, this one's pretty gnarly looking. So a good thing we can do is a lot of these can be fixed. You'll want the good scissors for this. But, practice on the broken ones, fixing the lines. That way you'll get a lot more out of your pack, even if you buy a nicer pack of the nicer feathers. You're still gonna have some flaws. So just saying, maybe order something extra if you're really making a nice feathered piece for a party or a craft or a gift. I will say if you need to use glue, learn from my mistakes, put the super glue away and grab a hot glue gun. So you can see I made a little flaw in that one. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of reaching over my camera here, guys. But anywho, that's just my tip number one, is to practice, let the, something good can come out of the flawed ones. And you'll kind of figure out some of them don't like to be cut at a certain angle. You may want to, cut one direction versus the other. But there's a lot of things you can do if your pack is, see, I think that actually worked better. If your pack of feathers is not so good, you can trim them up and save a lot more of your feathers. So that's tip number one for you guys. Also, here's why I say never give up, and no, crafts never go right the first time. So hilarious. Let's take a moment to laugh at me. I got these clamps and I couldn't get them flat. So I was literally just like pinching them together. This one doesn't look so bad because this was a thicker feather. And that's where I joke about where the super glue came into play, because I thought, oh, I'll glue them because some of them were just sliding right out. So I'll show you some feathers that I bought that were already clamped. And as you can see how nice and flat and clamped together those were. So it took me a while to figure out. There's two basic styles of, I'm just using cord clamps for these. So there's two sizes that I'm finding the most of. I'm having better luck with the wider ridged ones. With this one, oh, see, there was a third kind I ended up with. Thank you, cats. Than these littler ones, but actually after practicing the other day, and sorry guys, I'm not a nail tech, it got a little better. So that's why I said always practice. We'll grab some of these to practice on. What I found works better, than my typical jewelry, they have some like this. The ones that pinch like this versus Of course, this is like my mini set and it's very old, but versus the ones like this, I was able to get a much better squeeze. I've got little hands with the bent ones. So my next set of tools that I will be getting will be the bent ones. So I'm going to switch sides. I'm a righty. So whichever side you want to be the front, and I kind of try to slide it a little bit. You don't have to, but that didn't work well, did it? But there is another little bump. There's a bump ridge. Oh, we saw it for a sec. Right there. There it was. My fingernails look awful. So I try to slide it a little bit when you can. It's going to go horrible because I'm trying to film now. And then I start on the one side. And pinch a little bit. And then I kind of work my way down. Now, like I said, you guys, this did take me a while to figure out. And I know I just made it look so easy. But if you'd seen the first time I then attempted to do it the correct way, there may be a tool for this as well. I don't have it yet. If I can find it, I will buy it. I'm a tool guy. I love tools. Tool girl, tool gal. We're not going there. But anywho, and then you want to go to the other side and pinch your way across. Da-da-da-da-da. Much better. Oh, actually, that one went pretty well for me being at this odd angle. But again, you guys, I wish I could find some of the worse. I mean, this was pathetic. I'm just laughing. So, I mean, it's not horrible, right? Like, most people wouldn't even notice. But I do sell stuff. I sell jewelry. I do farmer's market table. We put up the merch for the channel. I don't want to sell garbage. I want to sell a nice product, you know? So I think we did pretty well getting them to the ones that we had bought. So, or to compare to the ones I had bought. And I'm going to split these up. These are nicer feathers. I wish I could find some like this. So I'm working on, I need to go to a different craft store and a couple other places or find somewhere to order online because these were absolutely beautiful. And these just now look tacky to me. Like they're so just, you know. I did love the rainbow earrings that I did make out of those. I will say it wasn't out of these big giant ones. The rainbowed, but now that I've mastered it, I'm like, okay, we need nicer, more quality feathers. Now these ones I thought were fabulous. They were super fun. These are for sale in the Etsy shop. I've got 2 pairs available right now. Super fun to make. And then I just made a little chain link myself for them. And you can see on the ones that I bought, which was just like a chain, it's its own chain, and then they're hanging every few links. Oh, and it looks like, sorry, and it looks like a group of them at the bottom. So you could just use some chain and then link them off of the chain. But I chose to just go ahead and kind of make my own chain out of the little loops. So I hooked a chain and then I put a feather on and then I closed it and then I opened another one and then put a feather on and closed it. That way it had a nice flow to it. My opinion, just from what I've done, you don't really want to put more than 2 on one jump ring or it doesn't sit well. These 2 I connected together in one clasp. And then, so again, you know, feathers are going to have flaws. So it just is what it is. But anywho, so that was a big pair we made. And let's see, we did a little brown pair. So I think I will leave it at that unless I can find, I had one of these I had to really trim down. Again, see, like this one is so curled. It's pretty ugly looking. So again, just expectations versus reality. You may need to order more feathers than you think. I think I'm going to leave it at that. And then we will maybe make one of these. This was just a little hair clip I did. It was one of the first ones, so I didn't put a lot of feathers in it. This feather was like a pre-boughten, you know, obviously it's like 4 feathers put together put together in one. So that is an option, you know, it's more expensive that way. But there were some cute ones. And then I added the little chain. So if someone wanted to make it a hair clip or something, or a hat clip, you know, for the skull lovers, it's okay if you're not into that. Let's see, where are my clamps? So I think the reason that I covered this one with the string, you don't have to do that, was because you can buy these at the hardware store or the craft store. You know why I did it was, I think, because I had so many feathers crammed into this one that it didn't look very nice. But same thing on this. You want to just really smash that bad boy in there. Highly technical term there, bad boy. Did we get it? Sort of, see? It's just wanting to go straight up and down. Okay, we got it. But see, it was pretty ugly looking. So I think that's why I went ahead and wrapped it. Obviously, I should have trimmed this feather down, guys, first. So that way more of that was up in there. But you may want to get some larger clamps if you're doing these. These little alligator clips are pretty small. I don't know if all the ones I got were the same size. If you're looking for these actually in larger sizes, you do want to go to like the Harbor Freight or a man store, we'll call it, instead of the craft store. Because I think this was the only size they had. So I'll probably just make little feather and hat. Jeez, I cannot talk. Hat clips out of these, just for funsies. I'm not really sure about how I feel about how the final outcome of this looks, but this one was mine, and I honestly just shove it up into the end of my braid in my ponytail, so you can't really see it. But obviously, if I was going to be selling it, I would want it to have a nicer finished look on it, but that's that. So apparently, you know, get a bigger alligator clip if you're going to use the thicker feathers, because you know what? These ones were the thinner, fluffier feathers, this black one versus this big old thick looking feather here. So like I said, we don't fluff on this channel. We don't know everything. Not every craft goes to plan. So thank you. And that was working with feathers, expectations versus reality.